Hello, hello, plannerets. How are you? Now tell me this. Do you ever sit down to brain dump, get everything out of your head, and then think, okay, now what? There's the missing piece. A brain dump isn't just about unloading your thoughts, it's about sorting, prioritizing, and turning them into a clean plan you can actually follow. So, in this session today, I'll guide you through a real time brain dump, help you categorize it in under 10 minutes, and then transfer your must do tasks for today, tomorrow, and this week onto one simple running to do list. And by the end, you'll feel lighter, more focused, and ready to move forward. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, welcome, Elle. If you are new here, I am Marianne and I share planning and self care tips so you can go from overwhelmed to organized. Now, if that sounds like what you need, consider subscribing to my channel. Okay, now before we dive in, let's light up the map. Now, I'm hoping that my world map will work today. So if you're here live, I want you to drop in the chat right now where you're watching from. And of course, if you are watching on replay, I'd also love to know where you are tuning in from and pop it in the comments. Now, the first 10 locations hopefully will pop up live on my map if this works. If not, doesn't matter. It's always really good to know where you are tuning in from. So let us have a look at who's here at the moment. Let's check the chat. I saw earlier we had Brenda. Hello, nice to see you. Make sure that we'll go back here. Brenda is there. How are you? And then I also saw Susan. Nice to see you. My lovely plannerets are in here. And Laura, nice to see you. Almost ready. Happy to be here. Well, I'm happy you are here as well. And Elle, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. All right, I'm going to see if this works. So hopefully, let's see where you are tuning in from. So the first 10 locations will pop up on the map. I am using an app called Streamer Live, not a sponsored video, but I wanted to check it out. And it's because I'm on the free plan, only the first 10 comments will show up. So let us have a look to see if this works. Now, does it work? Will it work? Please work. Now, it's showing on my screen right here. You know what it is? It's probably I haven't done the correct link. So let me see. We're going to just play it by ear, because I really want to see where you guys are tuning in from. Let me see if this works. Dun, dun, dun. Because I can see that it's working. And let's save it. Yay, it worked. And look at all of you over here. Let's see who this is. This is Brenda, South Dakota. And we have Karen from Michigan. I am loving it. Look at this. This is so cool. Hey, this will probably actually help with my geography, right? Because, and then who is this one here? There is Susan, Florida. And we have Laura from Villa de Costa Rica in Mexico. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for playing along with me. And it sort of works now. So next time, see, each and every time I am learning, to go these different technological things that all these content creators are using. So hey, there is someone over here. Tan, nice to see you in Sydney as well. I think we have a beautiful day today. I've got the blinds still closed so then the lighting doesn't get affected. Isn't that wonderful? I appreciate you all. So this is where we are now. If you did see my Instagram stories here in Sydney, Australia, we have just gone into our daylight saving time, which means our clock went forward 1 hour. However, what I did, instead of confusing everyone, for a lot of you who are my US viewers, I'm going an hour later. So it's 12 o'clock here where I am. So I love it. It doesn't know New England. Let's have a look. Where is L? Maybe Can I see? Who is this? I might have to, there you are. I saw. Okay. All right. Next time, you can also choose different types of maps. And so what I might do, so then it shows up a little bit more where it is. I did see you. And let's see if Angie is there. Yes, you are, my darling. There you are. Yay, from Brisbane. So this is where we are all at in parts of the world. Ooh, who is this over here? Let's have a look at the map over here. Oops, where did I see it? There it is. Come on, come on, come on, map. I have to zoom in. Zoom in. Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Am I missing something? Or is that, oh, okay, there we go. That's the same map. All right. Well, there we go. Thanks for playing along, my darlings. So this is sometimes what I do over the weekend is I'm trying, how can I, get engagements and seeing, but I do love seeing where everyone is joining from. Such a good reminder that we're all here with the same goal, no matter where we are in the world. I appreciate that for you. So thank you so much for doing that. Okay, so here's a quick story. I started doing brain dumps because I used to sit with my planner on a Monday morning and staring at the blank page, not knowing where to start. I had sticky notes here, reminders over there, half-finished lists, and I never felt organized. Let me know if that is you as well. That's when I actually started doing brain dumps. And so it's been a real game changer. So it wasn't perfect at first, but once I learned to categorize and prioritize, that changed everything. So instead of feeling scattered, which I know a lot of you are when you tell me in the comments of my YouTube videos, after brain dumping and getting better at it and practicing it, I felt in control. And that's what I want you to experience today. So let us have a look. Why brain dump? Okay, what you're going to get out of this session today is 1, a clearer mind. Okay, no more juggling all those thoughts, tasks, to-dos in your head. It's going to help you focus, knowing what matters now versus what can wait. Because I'm sure if you're like me in the past, everything is important, everything is urgent, everything needs to get done. But the question we hadn't asked is what matters right now, and can other stuff wait? And so that will help reduce the overwhelm if you have endless tasks and to-do lists, all right? And a brain dump is going to help make things simple. Because once we brain dumped and categorized, we're going to put our tasks on one single to-do list. That's it. That's what's going to help carry you through the week. So if this sounds good, please give me a yes in the comment section. And then that way we can see what is going on. Laura says, life-changing, right? Oh, there's been so many aha moments, so many breakthroughs, not just for my wonderful viewers here on YouTube, but also those in my Plannerettes Inner Circle membership. Yes, Laura says, started doing it because of you. Oh, I love that. I really, really appreciate that. Laura says, typed it wrong that's okay. All is good. I love it. I love it. Yes. Susan said, yes, she is ready. Okay. So what I want you to do right now is grab your planner. I am in my Franken planning system where I've got the Hobonichi A5 cover. I created my A5 printable paper planner pages. Use disc bound. There is a video how I did all of this, so I'll make sure I'll pop that in the links in the description. But if you have already downloaded my free the Calm and Clear starter kit, in it you get this brain dump guide. So let me pop that in the chat right now. There's the starter kit. Okay, so have that handy, open it and then come back, but don't print it yet, because you can just use a plain blank paper with me right now. It does not have to be fancy. But this brain dump guide, because I do this brain dump and weekly reset here on YouTube on the first Sunday of each month, so that's my Sunday, I'm here in Australia, and then I do it weekly in my Planneret's Inner Circle membership. So if you're not in the inner circle, that's okay, because the brain dump right here is gonna help you through with the steps, and this is what we'll cover today. So if you're new, this is your first time doing this, do not fret. I'm going to do it step by step. All right, so and then also we're going to get everything out of our head down on paper. So I have here, so this one here, let me just go back. Where is my page? Is this one? We are going to, there we go. Oh, where is it? Here we go. Here we go. Okay, we're going to write everything down. So this brain dump printable here is also free, part of that Calm and Clear Starter Kit. See, I want you to be equipped with all the right tools and strategies to help you overcome that overwhelm that's, I'm sure, you've been storing in your brain and just trying to figure out where to start. All right, so grab your brain dump guide, but it's okay if you don't have it, because I will go and walk you through it. Now, if you don't know, because sometimes what happens is we've got so many stuff in our head, but sometimes actually we don't know where to start when it comes to, brain dumping, everything that's in there. It's okay too, because guess what? I have in there, the brain dump trigger. Here it is. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Brain dump trigger guide. And see, as you can see, there's like 25 different things that will help at least jog your memory. Things like house tasks you've been ignoring, conversations that's been on your mind, habits you want to build or break. Okay. So this will really help you get everything down on paper. Let me see if I've got everything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 10 minutes on the screen. I am going to do this live with you. So this is what we do what I do each and every week. No need to organize anything yet. Okay, so do not edit. Don't judge whatever you're going to be writing down and go, oh, should I be writing that? No judgment. And don't worry about spelling or neatness. All right, so messy is totally fine. And like I said, if you do get stuck, once you have my brain dump trigger list, that's a really good one to look at, because sometimes I'll go, what else do I need to write? Oh, okay, yes, that's it. All right. And sometimes it's those tiny little thoughts that you think it doesn't matter. That's the thing that keeps you sort of like anxious throughout the week. Okay, so let me quickly have a look. Susan says it has been life-changing. All right, and hello there, the Nocturnal Stitcher. Thank you so much for joining. Now let me know, is this your first time here with me? If so, type yes, first time with Marianne. I love it. So I don't know what's going on with my comments, but that's okay. I'm one of these recovering perfectionists, and I always think, I've got to have everything sorted. So grab your favorite pen. Now I'm going to use this Pilot Friction Way erasable pen. Now the reason why I love using this is because it is a little bit lighter and not so dark, which means if there are things that I do write that's personal, that I don't want too blasted into the YouTube world, it's not in your face. So that's what I'm going to use. But if you're ready, I am ready. Let's put the 10-minute timer on screen. Again, write everything down. No judgment. Doesn't matter if it's messy. No sorting out yet. Nothing of like, do I do this today? We will do that in time. All right, let's go, everybody. do you feel? Did that feel good? Was the music all right? I've changed up the music a little bit. Let me know, how do you feel after that brain dump? Now, of course, if you are new to brain dumping and 10 minutes is not enough, extend it. 15 minutes or even 20, especially if you are coming from a point where you have endless pages and pages of to-do list, or that you are just feeling really overwhelmed, stuck, or burnt out. Okay, so really important that you go with how you are. So if you go, oh, 10 minutes is too long, 10 minutes is not enough, go and extend it. Or, even sometimes if you think that you have written everything down, maybe extending it that extra 5 minutes. Sometimes you will be amazed, because then if the times are, is time still going, and then you still, you're thinking, okay, that's it, I've written everything down. You just sit there. Use that time as a moment to pause. It's part of your self-care and taking a break and training your mind that to say that, hey, this is my time. I am important, then I need to also carve out a time for myself. Okay, so just be mindful of that, especially if there's some weeks when you do brain dump, or some days you may need more time. Look, what happened for me actually, because I have been doing this for so long now, well, so long as in 6 months in this format, that each and every week, the overwhelm and the scatterbrain that I have isn't as much as when I first started. Now, before I do keep going, I did see here Anime Girl. Hello, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. And yes, Laura says, I feel so relieved. It's like, if you can think of brain dumping as like a pressure cooker. Okay, if you've been with me long enough, Susan, Brenda, you know I love my analogies, because I'm one of these that like to visualize, because then my brain can grasp the concept a lot quicker. So brain dumping, writing everything down that's in your head down on paper, is like that pressure cooker. I remember pressure cookers back in my, when I was younger, and mom used to cook, those, tough meat for so lots and lots of hours. You have to release the valve, to ease that pressure. The brain dump is like that. It's like, instead of keeping it all in your head, worrying about every single thing, and if you're like me, during your perimenopause journey, that brain fog is just shows up whenever it wants to, and then you go, what was that thing again? I'm supposed to do something. And then when you're trying to figure out and remember all these things, you are in sort of like a panic mode. And so then your brain will then switch on to, the fight, flight, or freeze mode. Because it's like, what was it? What was it? What was it again? I can't remember. Why did I walk into this room? Right? And so brain dump, the more you do it week after week, and don't just do it once a week. Like, actually, on the 2nd of October, I had a little mini panic attack, and I was just trying, my mind couldn't stay at ease. I did all the stuff I needed to do, went for a walk, drank water, had something to eat, did my stretches, 11 push-ups, 11 squats, and still my mind would not stop from worrying and doubting itself and creating these limiting beliefs. So I did a brain dump out of my normal end of the week. So don't just think brain dumping is just for when you need to write down your tasks or your list, okay? So it's really, really important. Now, the next thing to do is, if you have a lot on your list, you wrote it down. Remember, I said, don't judge, don't try and organize, because this is the next step in our brain dump session. Okay, so here we are, step 2. We've just finished writing everything without judgment. Again, this is a freebie. So no filtering, list your tasks, ideas, worries, reminders, anything taking up space in your brain. The goal is to empty your mind, not organize yet. Because guess what? Now is the time to organize it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at everything we wrote down. Now, the way I'm categorizing this is based on time. In the past, I've seen people categorize what they've written down in different categories like work, home, personal, study, socializing. You can again categorize it the way that will make sense to you. But what I found is for those of you who may have majority of the focus is work, so if you categorize it that way, work may still be, an endless list of tasks. And so you would be back in the same position as you were at the beginning of a brain dump and still feeling like you're being lost in your endless to-do list. So what I do when I categorize is I categorize by time. So here I like to color code. If you've been with me long enough, you see my planner pages is full of color. And so I'm going to use color coding again because I am a visual learner and I can grasp things a lot quicker. And by color coding it, you'll be able to spot right away which areas you might be overwhelmed in. So again, this all takes time and more practice. And I swear to you, and I hope some of the plannerettes here in the live right now will tell you as well, it gets easier, it gets a lot better, you get more effective. And as you can see from my own little brain dump here, where is my little brain dump? Today's brain dump, I used to fill out this whole page of so many things. But you know what? The thing that's a game changer, your brain starts to trust you. Your brain will start to go, you know what? We don't need to worry for too long because I know Marianne or, Laura or Brenda or Susan, we are going to do a brain dump at the end of the week. So it'll start release that pressure, release that overwhelm and the anxious things that you might think that comes along with trying to do too many things all at the same time. So by color coding what you wrote down, just like I did here in previous pages, I've crossed them all out because either I've completed them or I no longer need to do them. You'll be able to see exactly, I need to do that. There's too many things on for today. I have too many things on that I'm trying to do for the week. When I know I don't have all the time in the world to be doing 100 tasks. Okay, so really important. So what we're going to do now is we're going to categorize, and I'm going to go through this with you again, step by step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick green. So for green, I am circling everything that I need to do for today and tomorrow. So these are the things that are non-negotiables, that are time sensitive, that someone else is waiting for the result or the outcome when you do them, and it can't wait until later on in the week. Okay, and then what you're going to find is when you start circling things, you go, oh, why am I circling so many things for today and tomorrow when I know maybe you're sick, maybe you're, juggling so many things already, or today's your day off. Okay, so take your marker. You can either highlight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fine tip end of my zebra mild liner, and I'm going to circle just like I have done in previous brain dumps. Okay, circle. Use a green marker to highlight what you want to do for today and tomorrow only. That's it. So I'm going to give you 1 minute on the clock right now. Okay, so I asked, got just a siren outside. Now, I asked earlier how you felt after your brain dump. Now, some of you might be feeling like you are overwhelmed, that it's bringing up a lot of things. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in the next few steps. But it's all okay. You don't have to feel like good. You don't think that, oh, I don't feel good after this brain dump. For the very first time I started doing brain dumps, I didn't feel good either because it was bringing up a lot of different things that I thought I would had buried, or that didn't, that I'll try and figure that out later, or I don't have the capacity, or that. That is why you're probably feeling a lot overwhelmed, because you're trying to push and bury things that you don't want to deal with right now. When you brain dump those sort of things, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to deal with this right now. That's why categorizing is so important. But I love that Laura feels so relieved, and Elle as well, writing everything down. I love it. I love it. And this is what's going to help. I swear to you, like, until I've started doing it myself, I didn't see the benefit of it. When you only do it one time, or only when you think that you should, that's when, it's like when you want to get a six pack, or a flat stomach, right? And go, hey, I've done 100 sit-ups. Why is my tummy still not, a six pack? You gotta put in the reps. You gotta put in the consistency. And like, who was it? I think Susan's, yes, said yes. And Laura, life changing. And trust me, I know. Laura says, I found less priorities. Yes, because as in, what happens too is, you think that everything is a priority as well. But when you start to look at it, you go, you know what? I don't need to do that today. That could be a later in the week or later in the month. It's really a great way to put in front of you the things that matter right now. Okay, so thank you so much for those of you that, wrote out loud how a brain dump has helped you. Okay, so really important that when we share these things, it also helps others see the benefit. So thank you so much for sharing. So now let's keep going. The next area I want to do, again, sometimes look, to save mental space in my head, I don't need to try and remember all my color coding because I have the guide. And so sometimes I have to go, oh yeah, what's the next color I use? So we are going to use the blue. And for the blue, we are going to go and highlight all the tasks that we would love to do, review, or reference this week only. All right, so this is the next 7 days. If you do a Monday to Sunday, or Sunday to Saturday, whatever it is that you would like to look at for this next week, grab your blue marker and highlight or circle it. Okay, so let's go for another 1 minute to do that. Okay, so far I have colored the things that I wrote down for today and tomorrow, which is green, and the things I'd like to look at for the week. The next color we're going to use is purple. So do you have anything that you have brain dumped today on your list or on your paper that you would like to look at for later this month? So that could be either for the rest of October or for the next 30 days, whatever it is. Again, circle it, highlight it in purple, or again, you can change these colors. These are just the colors that make sense to me that so green is like go, and so whatever your favorite marker is, or if there's certain markers that you have that you haven't used, maybe you can use it as your brain dump color coders. Okay, so purple, circle everything that is for later this month, and let us go for another 1 minute time. Okay, fantastic. Now, if you are comfortable, share one thing that you have circled for later this month. Sometimes typing it out on the live chat, or if you're watching on replay, that helps lock it in. So for me, the things I'd like to do that I'd like to do for later on in the month is actually tidy up 2 desks that I have on my right hand side here. And at the moment, it is a dumping ground for things that I haven't found a home for, or things that are just too difficult to try and figure out what to do with it, whether to donate, to throw away, to give away, or to go and store somewhere else. So that is one of the tasks that I've been putting off, or I'm looking at it and going, I need to really do that. Is it important right now? No, it's not causing any trouble or stress, because sometimes a tidy environment or a tidy space can be one of the triggers that can create that sort of like stress or anxiety, because you're looking at it and it's a mess and I've got to figure out, and it's if you're tripping over your environment, or it's causing you to go from 0 to 100, being a cranky mom and screaming at someone, why is your room not clean, then yes. But if there is stuff on the things on your brain dump that you have circled that you would like to do for later on in the month, share it in the chat right now, or if you're watching on replay. So for me, it's tidying up and actually making a space again for my sewing table, because it was supposed to be my sewing table, but it's just a dumping ground at the moment. So let's quickly have a look. Who later this month, repotting. Let's have a look. What's going on? Okay, repotting my house plants. Oh, I love it. That would be a nice, yes, take some photos and share with us. Oh, Laura says, my activities for my birthday next month. Wow, excellent. Look, already, it's going to be an early one, but yay, happy birthday for next month, Laura. I love that. So that is, see, sometimes a lot of these things that we have put on our later or for the month tasks are great to write down in our planner, especially if it's exciting stuff like gardening and preparing for your birthday, or cleaning up a space and making a dedicated space for your hobbies. These things are great things to anticipate. A lot of times the anticipation for a fun event, it gives you those dopamine hits and boosts, which makes you feel good. Okay, so planning not just tasks that are, deemed as to-dos and work or things that's less desirable. Make sure you're also planning for things that are fun. Elle says reorganizing my storage files. Excellent, as in digital storage files or actual physical storage files. Let us know, Elle. I love that. I also, anything that's reorganizing is always a great thing because it has a clear start and finish and a great transformation from messy to not messy, or before a brain dump, cluttered, after a brain dump and organizing, decluttered, and you feel a lot nicer. You're most welcome, Laura. I'm excited for you. I always love birthday months. All right, so what is the next thing that, oh, there's, press the birth balloon again, just because we want to celebrate you. Okay, so what is the next thing that we need to look at? So the next thing I would love for you to categorize in your brain dump is what future ideas or things that are not urgent. So not for the month of October, maybe, November or December, the holiday season. So the color we're going to use for that is yellow. Okay, so things that's not for the immediate future, so nothing that's within this month. All right, future ideas and things that's not so urgent but is important that you note down so you don't forget about it. Especially, I don't know if about you, me, I'll go, it's November and it's like, oh, I wanted to do that, in this month, but then the week, whatever the event happened, it passed because we didn't write it down or we didn't get to note it. Okay, so these usually are the fun ideas or someday projects that you can't fit in this month because you already have a lot of things to do, but you would love to look into. So another 1 minute on the timer for future plans and ideas. Let's go. Okay, I love it. Yes, Elle says digital, and so see, this is what happens when you go and play too much with all the settings. And this is part of my self-care. Do you know this is part of my self-care when I do these fun things? And Laura says, life is not only a to-do list, correct. But you know what happens when you're overwhelmed and you are burnt out and you feel stuck and you haven't taken the time to, put in self-care and breaks for yourself is you get into this mindset that you've fallen behind, you've got so many things to do, and so what happens is you go into a survival mode, and all you go and think is, I got to do this, this, and this. And you're right, Laura says that, life is not all about to-do lists, but when you're in the moment of overwhelm, stuckness, and burnt out, that is sort of like your go-to because you have a list and you think, well, there's so many things that's on there that I need to do, so I've got to do that. And then you forget about life. You forget about the fun things. Elle says, smile with the digital. And yes, see, I love playing with all the digital stuff, right? Okay, so now if you did write anything down, because remember, brain dumping is about writing everything that's in your head. Now, for a lot of us, we have a lot of worries, we have a lot of doubts, we have a lot of negative thoughts, shoulda, woulda, coulda, imposter syndrome, comparison. Why aren't I further ahead? Why aren't I making as much money as that person? Okay, so those two are really important, and I commend you for writing them down. It is a great thing to be writing down these worries, thoughts, and negative beliefs. You know why? As Shrek says, to Fiona in the Shrek movie, better out than in. Because we know when we suppress those things, we may be able to control those thinkings and put it aside. But when you are broken, either physically, mentally, or emotionally, they will turn up. Okay, so I love that if you did write any worries, doubts, and limiting beliefs, that you have it written down, because guess what? It's better on paper than in your brain, because they say, right, it's much easier to read the label from outside the bottle. So it's difficult. If you can imagine another analogy, if you're in a bottle with a label on the outside, you can't see it because you're inside. You can't see the label. By writing it down, you may not have the capacity at this stage to have to deal with it, but like I said, it's better out than in. Okay, so here's the thing that I want you to do. Grab a red marker, or in my case it's a pink one with this zebra mild liner. I want you to look at them and challenge them. Are these true? So if you've written down, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not further ahead, I'm not making money, I don't have a house, all of these things, right? Challenge them. For a long time, I used to think I wasn't a good mom because, I have my youngest son is 16 and on the autism spectrum. And when he has meltdowns and challenging behaviors, I question myself whether I'm a good enough parent. Am I giving him enough? Am I providing enough support for him? If he's going through these challenges emotionally, sensory wise, and trying to figure out the world around him, I mustn't have equipped him well enough because he's having meltdowns. He's, breaking things. He's, getting angry. So for a long time, and when I'm not well, when I'm burnt out or stressed, those negative thoughts will creep in. And, I do write them down when, there's a few things on here from yesterday that I had written down. Can't see it, that I was questioning my ability. But I want you to challenge them. Now, if you don't have the capacity, if you're overwhelmed right now, I don't want you to go and do anything yet. Just circle them, okay? Because then that way you at least later on, when you've rested, you've had something to eat, something to drink, met up with friends, done fun stuff like gardening and preparing for your birthday month, you will be in a better position. But I want you to circle any of those thoughts. If you can, challenge them. Are they true? If not, if they're not true, if you are a good friend, I want you to cross them off, because we don't need those negative thinking. We have to be a good friend to ourselves. All right. And as for any other thoughts, for the rest of them, you can schedule a time later down the track. It doesn't have to be next week. It doesn't even have to be next month, right? You can visit and then be in a better place to reframe them. All right. So 1 minute, if you do have any of those thoughts, if you can, challenge them. Are they true? If not, just circle it and you can always come back to them later. Okay, I see Gail. Hello, Gail. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I've missed you. Hope you are well and feeling a lot better. Thank you so much for joining. Now, I didn't have anything because, like I said, I've been doing this brain dump for a while. Not that I do not have any negative thinking or any self doubt. For sure, I do. Daily, right? But I am getting better at reframing them, challenging them, or figuring out, Marianne, why are you thinking at these things right now? I have a little, I have to find out who it is that, so this is not my thing. It's called HALT. Okay, so anytime you have any negative thinking or you're feeling overwhelmed or you're cranky or you're sad or you're frustrated, think of the acronym HALT. Okay, ask yourself, are you hungry? Because a lot of times I get angry or I'm like, feeling like I'm not doing enough because I haven't eaten. All right. Are you angry? Okay. What is it? Who has said something? What happened? Okay. Does it matter? Are you lonely? Okay. When was the last time you've spoken to a friend, DM'd someone, FaceTime family that, bring you joy, or joined a community like this one where there are like-minded people that understand you and get it, that you do not have to be perfect. Okay. Or are you lonely? Are you tired? Okay. These are the things, one of the first things to ask yourself. It's really like diagnosing your own self. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling frustrated? Why am I feeling sad? Why am I angry? Why are these people pissing me off? It's, like total strangers at the shops. Okay. Ask, are you hungry? Are you angry? Are you lonely? Or are you tired? If it's any of these, then fix it. Go have something to eat. Are you angry? Go out for a walk. Do something fun. Are you lonely? Call a friend. Join a community. Are you tired? Go have some sleep and have a nap and have a rest. Okay. So really, really important when you do start to see all these negative thinking or self-doubt. Now, I didn't have any, so guess what I did? I took the time to go and create and write down positive affirmations for myself. I am worthy. I can do this. I am doing enough. These words will ring true the more you say it. So I challenge you, if a lot of the times you are feeling like you are no good, or why am I falling behind? Why have I got so much tasks to do and I'm not doing them? Start reframing and swapping those thoughts with positive affirmations. Okay, so there is no pressure to share the details, but let me know with a hand up emoji in the chat right now if you had at least one worry or doubt on your list. You know why I want you to do this? You don't have to share what it is, just a hands up emoji, because just knowing we're not alone in this situation is powerful. And that's why community is so powerful. For a long time, I thought I was the only one going through. Well, I know that I wasn't the only one suffering or having challenging moments. But in my, when you're in it, you just think no one will understand. I can't share because everyone else seems like their life is, together. All right. So just knowing we're not alone in the feeling of self-doubt, limiting belief is enough to move us to the next step. Okay, really, really important. Okay, now, by the way, this if this process is helping already and this stream is giving you some aha moments, I would love for you, of course, to hit that like button, because it really helps more people like us that love planning, that love stationery, that's trying to figure things out as we go. It's going to send this, the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm is going to help put it in more people's faces and suggest my live stream and my videos. So those are one of the ways, easiest and simple ways that you can support me, so then I can turn up here more often. And then also, it is a little bit of a vanity metrics that seeing the likes and seeing the love means, it's a dopamine hit for me. And Who doesn't love knowing that you like me, you really, really like me? So that's a Sally Field Oscar-winning part of her speech, right? You like me, you really, really like me. All right, so I have Brenda, Susan, and Laura, right? And that is good. Remember, it is good to have those thoughts and write them down because it is better out than in. We know what happens when we keep it in there. I've done that for so long and so many times. It snowballs. It bounces from side to side in your head. I'm not good at this. Well, that's because of this, Marianne. See, I told you, you shouldn't have done that because you judged and you failed. And like all these little things start to gather momentum and you start to feel worthless and hopeless. Okay? Get it out of your head, down on paper. Then you have the opportunity to either cross them off if it's not true, or reframe, or think about them later and go and say to your brain, you know what, you're right. I'm thinking these thoughts, but you know what? I don't have the space for that. I'm going to figure that out a little bit later on. The best and honest planner channel. Oh, Laura. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know why I do this is a lot of times this is for my own good. It's my own little, steps. So if I can share what I'm going through, because I am not perfect. As you've seen from my planners, I have pages where I haven't filled out my habit planner. I haven't filled out pages. I missed, doing the things that I said I want to do because life happens. And if we don't see enough of it, we start to compare. We look at other planners that's fully done up, fully stickered and fully embellished. And I was like, oh, well, mine's empty. Why, I mustn't be good at planning. No, you are doing enough. I love it. Okay, so before we go, let us do a deep breath. Okay, so before we pull everything onto a running to-do list right here, let's take one deep breath together. We're going to breathe in through our nose, hold it, and if your shoulders are a little bit up here and tense, I want you to relax it as you breathe out. Okay, so take a breath in, hold, relax your shoulders, and out. Even one deep breath is enough to just pause and remind yourself that you are worthy. It's a nice reset. What we're doing is not a race, okay? It's not about trying to get everything done, right? It's just about putting tiny little steps in front of us to follow. So then if and when we are overwhelmed, you know what we do? We just look at our task list, which is what we're going to do now, and just go, all right, Marianne, is there one tiny little thing on that task that you can do to help the momentum going? Let's quickly, we need to have this. Okay. Love you and the community you're creating and the beautiful work. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Laura. These type things are so wonderful. And it helps remind me as well when I do get sad, when I do get down, that what I'm doing is not just helping me, it's helping someone else who might have thought that, that there's no way out. I mean, originally I created this channel to share my planner setup, to share what I'm doing, embellishing and stickers, but it has gone beyond that, because when it clicked for me that I can use me setting up my planner as a self-care activity where I am saying I'm going to carve out 30 minutes, an hour, a couple of hours where I set this up and say to myself, you are important. You need and deserve to be on top of that priority list. And if you too watching can start to go, well, I'm important too, right? Yes, we've got tasks, we've got work, we've got the children, we've got the family, we've got other people's agendas that we've got to try and meet. But what a lot of us have done is we put ourselves last on the list, or sometimes not even on the list. So I appreciate it. Angie says, listen to you while decluttering my bathroom cabinet. One of the things I've been putting off forever. Your live has been motivating. Thank you. Yes, my live, Angie, I think hopefully I'm saying it right. Angie has been a nice little background companion for a lot of the plannerettes that tune in while they are cleaning, because then you can do your cleaning and then also think and then start to go, yes, I am important. Hello, Anime Girl. Yes, I said hello to you earlier. How are you? Is this your first time in the live chat? If so, yay! Welcome, welcome. I appreciate you being here. All right, so we have taken a deep breath. Okay, and deep breaths are also a great little reset. So when you start to feel your heart pounding, right? Because when your heart rate starts to go up and get faster, that's signaling to your brain that there must be threat. Sometimes, our brain, what's called the amygdala hijacked. Amygdala is the part of your brain that's in charge of the fight, flight, or freeze. Sometimes it'll think that there's a threat when there is none, and so it can put you in a stressful mode when there's actually, there may not be, or if there is, take deep breaths, because then it'll slow your heart rate. When your heart rate slows down and when there is no threat, it's going to say, oh, okay, I can switch that amygdala off and put back the thinking part of our brain that makes decision. Okay, so now we have sorted quite a lot today. So I want you to give yourself a moment to feel lighter before we move on to the final step of our brain dump and weekly reset. And so what we're going to do is, it's nice to meet you as well. So lovely for you to be here. Oh, Gail, thank you. Wow, you are making a difference. I love it. Yes, I can relate. Exactly right. Aggie rhymes with Maggie. Aggie, Maggie. Okay, I'll remember for next time. Thank you so much. Yes, I came back. Yes, I saw you earlier. I'm glad you're back. I know sometimes we've got our lives going on and we have to stop and start. So I appreciate you being here. Anime Girl, tell me if you're comfortable with what your first name is, and I try and make sure to remember next time. All right, so what are we going to do next is the running to-do list. So let's turn all what we had back up here at the beginning, and when we wrote it down and we've categorized it, we're now going to turn it into action, because the action is what gets things done, right? For a lot of times I procrastinate because it's not so much that I don't know what to do, but sometimes my list is so overwhelming that it freezes me up. And again, there's that amygdala part of our brain going, we've got an endless tasks and to-do list. I don't know where to start. This is too much. This is stressful. Then bam, our cognitive part of our brain, it stops. Oh, thank you so much. I love it. I love it. Aggie is feeling so much lighter after brain dumping. Thank you. I love it. And thank you for letting me know. Okay, so we're going to take everything you circled for today, tomorrow, and the week. So that is our green, and this is where color coding now comes in, because all we're going to focus on are the things we've colored in green and in blue, because that's all that matters for the moment. Everything for later on in the month or later on for future, we can look at them, guess what? Later. Okay, a lot of times when we don't categorize and it's all an endless to-do list and we're looking at our list over and over again and going through, oh, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, that's where the stress can come in. All right, so if you use the same color coding I did, take everything that's in green and in blue, and that's only for this week, and what we're going to do now is we're going to copy them onto one single page, which is your running to-do list. Okay, so I actually do have a more detailed video, and I think I already have that in the description. So if you haven't seen that yet, it goes through how to use a running to-do list, which is a method based on Alistair's system. Okay, so what it does is you write everything down on just one piece of paper to look at instead of flipping through pages and pages and pages of to-do lists. Now, I'm not saying you go and disregard all your other to-do lists, right? But all we're going to focus on is things for today, tomorrow, and the week. Because guess what? All the things for later on in the month and later on, we've circled it. But that doesn't mean we have to action it or take up brain capacity trying to figure out when to do them. We've already done that. And that's where categorizing is so important after brain dumping. So make sure if you haven't yet seen this video right here, or which way? Right here. Go check that out after if you don't know yet how I'm going to use the running to-do list. But I'll go through it with you to show you how I now put all of the, let me just go, put all of the greens and blues on this one. Now the running to-do list, let me just pop that in the chat. That's from my shop. It has two versions, one with a Sunday start as well as a Monday, because I like to do my brain dump at my Sunday. So I'm going to write, I use the Sunday one. And again, just look, I have made sure that there is enough lines for task and to do for the week, as well as having enough space, leave space for anything that comes up. Because we know life happens, there's going to be things that will turn up that we have not planned for. But if you have a list that is so full and then something else comes up, you'll be back at the beginning of the overwhelm and trying to catch up and stressing out and burning yourself out, not resting, not allowing for time. Because your weeks and days need to allow for when you eat, when you rest and sleep. So technically there's it's not 24 hours in the day that we have things to do. You gotta have time for your fun, your self-care, your family time, as well as and allow enough space or breathing room, because a lot of times we think that we can do something in an hour and it may actually take 2 or 3 hours. Okay, so really important. I need to review that video. You're still using the same project method? You are still using the same project method? I need to review that video again. So the projects list is a different thing as well. So that's when more, if it's a bigger task. If a task has more than 2 actionable steps, it becomes a project list. But this running to-do list allows you to have a one piece of paper to note down everything, and that's all you're going off for the week. Now, I also do use a weekly spread. So a lot of times I will, so let's say, for example, last week's, what I do is everything that I have noted for Monday, I will put on my Monday daily spread, or, I will put in a weekly. So I do use a running to-do list, a weekly spread, as well as as well as daily planner, because that helps me. Now, that may be overkill for a lot of you, but for me, because my brain is starting to be foggy with perimenopause, I need all the help I can get. Now, a lot of times, I don't even need to use a daily or a weekly, because I'll go off a running to-do list. Do whatever is necessary to help you reduce the overwhelm. And if you think writing something down over and over again is too much, then that's fine. Do whatever works for you. But for me, the writing it down and then writing it again in a weekly or a daily, I take that as my self-care, because I love using my pens. I love writing. I love practicing my penmanship. So I now take that not as a task or a must do. I use it as my break time, as my self-care, because I enjoy it. So you need to figure out, if you enjoy rewriting things and making your planner pages pretty, use that as your self-care time. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down all the things in green and all the things in blue only. Don't worry about the purples and the yellows and the reds that you have circled. Only today, tomorrow, and this week. because that is where the overwhelm will get reduced when we set up and get ready for the new week. So I'm going to put 5-minute timer on the screen. It doesn't have to be in any particular order. That is the beauty of a running to-do list, or the Alice There method, is you just write it down, because then on the left-hand side column where you have the day, the little columns for days, that is where you assign when you want them done. So these were my to-do list from last week, and then I put little dots of when I would like to get them done. And what you'll start to see is, if you start putting lots of dots on the Monday, if you start putting lots of dots on a day that is your day off, then you start to go and see, why am I putting so much pressure on myself to do everything all at the same time? You also now will start to build your prioritizing muscle, because then you'll go, you know what? If I got all those tasks from someone at work, I will go to them. No, thank you. I've already got on my lots on my to-do list. You can ask someone else, or you can talk to me about that next week. But because it's us assigning tasks for ourselves and thinking we can do everything, I'm sure we can. But you know what happens when we do everything all at the same time and do too much? We forgo self-care. We burn out. And then that's when things fall apart. And then that's when we cry in the middle of, the day and don't know why. All right. So 5 minutes on the timer. Write down today, tomorrow, and the week. Let's go. right. Okay. Let me just finish up a couple of things here. What I did, so I wrote down, where are we? All my today and tomorrow, which was green. And then I actually, because I know I need to do them for today and tomorrow, I made tiny little dots of what day I want them to get done. So see how, so you can't see it really well, but if you've got your little black ink pen, you will start to see when you start assigning tasks for yourself on particular days, you will start to see on that video that explains it in more detail. When you start to make these tiny little dots on what day you would like to get done a particular item, you will see that, okay, if something has like a particular day has 12 little dots on it, you know you have put so much already on your plate and you don't know yet all the things that might come up that day. So it's important that when you are assigning tasks, have a hard number on this to-do list, you know, as in I will only assign 3 to 5 items on each day, or I'll only assign 70 tasks item on a particular day. Now, a lot of those tasks you might be the same, you know, admin stuff. So what you'll do with those is you'll batch them. So if you're going to do email or do any desk work, even though you might have, oh my goodness, I've already got 12 things. But if a lot of them are the same type of task, then, you know, they can be grouped together. But as long as you are not putting too many little dots on days that already have a lot of items that you have said you want to do, or even more important is putting tasks on the day that you have deemed as a day off. Now, a lot of us, when it's our day off, we do try and, catch up with the chores, with all the housework, and then we don't even put in the time for ourselves. That's the whole point of days off, is for you to recover, not for you to do even more work. So always be mindful. The running to-do list really highlights how much you are putting on your to-do list and how much pressure you are putting for yourself. So let me quickly, Gail says it's important to go with how your brain is wired. So yes, what I'm doing are the things that's working for me. And then, of course, if whatever you're doing is working for you, fantastic. But then if you are, you know, for a lot of times you've tried many different things and there's missing pieces, always try it and then tweak it to the way, as Gail says, the way your brain works. So if you don't like rewriting things over and over again, then you can just go off a running to-do list for your week. All right, so really important. Now that you've got everything for today, tomorrow, and the rest of this week written onto one page. Now, what I've also done on my brain dump is, because I've transferred it onto here, I have this one. Let me just write this one. Colonial letter. Okay. I'll look at that on Thursday, maybe. Okay, so I have crossed off, and I'm just using a black marker. This is the Pilot Friction colorful markers, and I've just crossed it off. So then that way, when I review my brain dump later on in the week or in previous weeks, I can say, I don't need to look at anything on there because I've either crossed it off, or this one, I put a big green line once I know I have either done things on it, or I put them somewhere else to look at, or I have said myself, it's not important anymore. I don't need to do that. All right. So this is a good way as well. And guess what? Anytime we mark things off, gives us that dopamine hit, because it sort of signals to our brain we've completed some things. Technically, we haven't completed anything yet. So this is sort of like a little bit of just a dopamine boost, but that really hasn't eventuated into action yet. But it's important to have these tiny little wins along the way, that you are making progress, that you are taking one tiny little step at a time. So I think that's all the blues and the green. Okay, I've now put it all onto one page. And now here's the important part. I need for you to keep all your tasks for the week only, right? For the week, not forever, So I know people have gone to me, Marianne, I have lots of stuff that I need to do for the week. So it needs to, I've got lots and lots of lists. But that's where the overwhelm comes in, because you have lots and lots of lists and there's not enough time in the day or in the week to do them all at the same time. So keep all your tasks for the week on one single page. So this could be a running to-do list, or just a blank piece of paper in your planner, or even use one, a line page in your journal, right? Keep them onto one single list, because this is what's going to make your task list for the week very powerful. It's not the only thing you're going to do for the week. Okay, there's lots of other things that will show up, and that is why it's also important to leave space. Now, if you have written down lots for today, tomorrow, and the week, and you have used up all these different lines, it means you put so much already on your plate. Now, if you can do everything and you have someone to help and you're delegating or you're moving tasks here and there, fantastic for you as well. But for those of you that do watch me, are the ones that go, I'm just like, everything is trying to happen all at the same time. Okay. Or if even if you are well managed and you can do all of this, it's also still lovely to have you here. But I just want to make sure that for those of us struggling to get on top of our tasks, to-do list, and everything else, while at the same time making sure we are making space for ourselves or anything else that comes up, keep your tasks on one list, because life will throw in more, things will take longer than you expect, and unexpected stuff will always pop up, right? Yes, we know this happens. But if your to-do list is spread across multiple pages or apps, it's going to be harder for you to see the big picture. And this is why one page allows you to see from a bird's eye point of view that, okay, I have a lot of stuff to do. What do I need to let go of? What can I get and delegate to someone else? Delegate stuff to your kids, to your husband, to your workmates. Ask your boss, look, I've got too much on my plate. Is there any way that some of this stuff can get given to someone else or can be left for next week? Okay. This is where one page helps you prioritize and see the big picture. By having everything for the week in one place, you give yourself breathing room. You can see what's realistic, and you can factor in breaks, factor in self-care, factor in gardening, factor in planning for a birthday, event for next month. And you're less likely to burn out. And this is where the overwhelm starts to ease, because it's manageable, not endless. Okay? So do you think, now remember, if this is your first time brain dumping and writing things down on one page and you can't do it, it's okay, because it'll take time. I will tell you right now, those who have been doing this with me for a long time, like Laura, like Brenda, like Gail, like Susan, right? It takes time. But when that hits, where you just kept things onto one page, you're not writing down too many things when you're brain dumping, it's like, it is so powerful, and it's such a game changer. And you're like, oh, is this what it feels like not to be overwhelmed, not to have that pressure on your heart, and that lump in your throat, or that queasy feeling in your stomach? It will get easier. So if you're at the moment going, Marianne, I don't think I can keep everything onto one page, it's okay. It's okay too. Remember, whatever you're doing right now is enough. Whatever you're doing is okay. So really, really important. So you can grab my running to-do list from my shop. Like I said, I think I'll pop that in the chat. I'll pop that in again, but it is also linked in the description below. You can go, if you want, use a blank piece of paper, get your ruler, rule, 7 columns for the days of the week, and then the other side of it, for your to-dos, appointments, events, habits, routines, whatever else. You can do that too. So you don't have to have this, but this does make it easier. If you print this, 5 weeks already in advance, you've got your task and to-do list ready to write on for the week. So grab it in my shop. You've got it in the link in the chat as well as in the description. So, and I've designed this so you can keep all your weekly tasks on one page without the clutter. All right. So now what do we got next? Let me quickly have a look. Yes, that's when the someday maybe, whoops, that's when the someday maybe list comes in. Yes, I've also got the list where you can just go, I'll do that later on. Okay, now let's quickly have a look. It is, before we wrap up, we cannot forget writing down something for ourselves on this to-do list, right? So planning isn't just about the tasks. As you can see on here in my previous ones, I have put, I think I'm not this one, but I will put get outside, right? Get outside for a walk, okay? And I want to do that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Do not forget to put on your running to-do list self-care items, because I don't want your planner just to be filled with tasks, to-dos, bills to pay, people to see, meetings, Zoom meetings, real life meetings. You also need to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. And now the Calm and Clear Starter Kit, the freebie that has the brain dump guide, brain dump trigger list, brain dump page, also has this self-care bingo card. So what I want you to do, if you have this, flip to it, okay? Where is mine? Mine is here. Flip to it. Now you can either use it and then, pick, there's 25. So there's enough for the month, even if you miss a day or two in the month. Pick one that you want to do, maybe a different one for the month, or you can pick the same thing over and over again. So if it's just reading your book and you do that every single day, fantastic. If it's the walking, get outside and walking, fantastic. If it's take 1 minute deep breaths for every day, and that's part of your self-care, or that's, your first step into looking and signaling to your good old brain, I am important. I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of the break. So pick 1 or 2 self-care actions for this week and add them to your running list. Okay, so mine was get outside. What's the other thing that I would like to do? Work out 3 times per week. I'll figure out what days of the week I want to do that. And then also maybe, gardening, maybe tinker in the garden 3 times per week, or color by numbers or paint by numbers. You have got your self-care bingo card. And if you want, do I have it anywhere? I did have my little dauber, that like the bingo. So when you've completed it, you can either color in the box to again signal yourself that you have taken the time to look after yourself. So this is a great bingo card to give you all these different self-care ideas, and a lot of them do not take that long. Go to a coffee shop alone, listen to your favorite song, go for a walk for 15 minutes, drink a full glass of water, sit in the sun for 10 minutes. And then if you even have some of your own, even better. Okay, so let us have a quick recap of what we just did. All right, so then that way it's fresh of mind on what we just did today, or if you are watching on replay, the first thing we did was we write everything down. Write everything down. And what's the rule? No filtering, no judgment. Doesn't matter if it's messy, doesn't matter if it's spelt incorrectly or does not grammatically make sense. Write everything down on paper, because then much easier to see when it's all outside of your head and, taking up space. 2, we categorize. Okay, so we looked at today, tomorrow stuff. So let me know, if you brain dump before, did you used to categorize or do you just did the brain dump? For the week, okay, we categorized. For the month, we categorized. For the future, okay, and then we even categorized any worries. Okay, so first step, write everything down. 2, categorize it. And then 3, transfer on one piece of paper. Transfer only what matters this week. Why are you carrying stuff that you don't need to look at until next week? Now you might go, but I need to go and be reminded. Then put a reminder to review it next week. All right, not so much action it. Just go, don't forget, next week we need to buy something for our birthday party or whatever it is. Or don't forget, next week, right? So it's important that you are only transferring only what matters this week onto what? One single page. Whoops. Let me see. One. Does this work? Yep. One single page. Okay, that is where the magic comes in, when you are not overwhelming yourself. And let me quickly have a look. Will this fit? 4, self-care. Do not forget to put in self-care. It's so important, right? If you are not saying to yourself you matter, then guess what? You're not going to matter. So for us mums, for us carers, for us if we're, looking after a team at work, right? A lot of the times we're looking after everybody else. But what do they say? Put your oxygen mask on first, right? You can't fill from an empty cup. We all know these sayings, yet we're not doing it. It's so important that we do it. All right, so there's the screen share. Look, I've even made self-care so bright that you cannot go and deny yourself. And there is no excuse, okay, about not knowing what to do when I've given you 25 different ideas. Okay, so just a little, we do this brain dump and weekly reset together here on my YouTube channel once a month. For me, it's my Sunday. For those of you watching in the US, it is your Saturday. Okay, so now I know sometimes once a month doesn't feel like it's enough to be doing it with me. That's where my printable comes in. Okay, that's where my self-care, my calm and clear starter kit is there. Go and print it out. So then look, I even have a little what you call it, magnetic clip to just go and highlight, do a tabs or whatever, right? Print it out. So then you could go, all right, what did Marianne say is the next step? Okay, you have a brain dump trigger list to help you get everything out of your head and down on paper. Now you can use those pages anytime to stay clear week after week. So, but before we wrap up, let's check in together. Let me know if you have any question. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed, like Anime Girl, make sure you do. It's really important. Hit that bell to let you know when I will be on my live stream. I go live on my Mondays to do the plan meeting. But before we go, I want you, what's one thing that surprised you from today's brain dump? Okay, were you surprised that, oh, I didn't even know that was in my head? I'm so glad that I got that out. Or that I may need to take a little bit more than 10 minutes to brain dump. So let me know in the chat right now, or if you are watching on replay, what is one thing that surprised you when you did the brain dump today with me? Take a second to type it out, even if it's just one word or 2 words, because you know why again? Writing and typing helps lock it in. So now, like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe and the notification button, because what's happened is here in Sydney, Australia, or here in Australia, the daylight saving kicked off, and so our clock moved an hour forward. So I actually rescheduled this brain dump an hour later. So then those of you in the US does not get all confused and suddenly go, oh my God, Marianne is an hour earlier than normal. And it will be the same for tomorrow's live stream. I'm going to go an hour later. My time, your time, it's still in the US, still going to look the same. But moving forward, what's going to happen is, of course, I need to go with my schedule, or else I'm going to be waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I know that's not going to be viable because I need to get some sleep. So do make sure you keep an eye out on when I will be on in your time zone. And then I think for those of you in the US, on 2nd of November, your daylight saving kicks off. So then we're all going to be lost with what time good old Marianne will be on here on YouTube. So that is why I do ask you to subscribe and hit that bell so we do not miss each other. Okay, so yeah, I may be a little bit earlier for some of you, but who knows, with all these different changes, daylight savings always confuses everybody. Okay, so really important. Let me quickly have a look at the chat. Where are we? Aggie says, yes, great reminder to always add self-care and do it yourself. Manny, yes, I've given my nails a little bit of a break because I am always doing my nail gel polish. So I've given mine. So yes, I do my own mani as well, Aggie. Thank you so much, Marianne. Of course, I changed the priorities a lot more than I think. I love that. So that is one surprise that Laura got from today's brain dump. Els goes, how much my files not being precise bothers me. Yeah, doesn't it? Because it's like, if you're like this and looking here, looking there, right? It's these things that sort of like bring front of mind the things that what's taking up a lot of my time that's creating stress. I love that was you were able to go and see that with today's brain dump. Elle, I love it. All right, Plannerettes. Whoo, what a reset. You have cleared the clutter and sorted your priorities. Make sure to say hello, of course, if you are watching on replay, because I do love seeing your comments as well and any aha moments, just like my wonderful plannerettes that are here with me right now. Make sure to say goodbye in the chat so it can feature you on the screen. So if it is viable and you I want you to celebrate the great time we've had together and decluttering your mind. Here we are going to do a little dance. All right, bye plannerettes. Be good, be safe, and make sure to take your breaks. Okay, look after yourself. Bye everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.